Okay, I'm going to share the screen. Oops.
That's why your chat popped.
I don't know what this who can share thing is. Okay, I haven't seen that before.
Here we go.
Okay. So hi, Miss Shamira, and Miss Saeed is with me too. And we're going to talk about enthusiasm and empathy in the workplace. So first, we're going to talk about enthusiasm in the workplace. So this is just like a short clip just talking to you guys about enthusiasm, and it's just like a little example of enthusiasm in the workplace. So I'm going to show this, and then we're going to talk about it.
Are you, like, Mr. Madison?
Miss Madison, I assume you're Travis Wilson. You're a bit late.
Oh, hey, sorry, man.
Have a seat.
Sure. Thanks, dude.
So, Mr. Wilson, do you have any experience in the insurance field?
Well, one time my dad showed me his, like, car insurance bill or something. He was, like, totally flipping out because of this really bad accident I got into. Oh, hold on. What's up? Oh, nothing. No, just in an interview.
Mr. Wilson.
Oh, hi. Travis Wilson here for my 9 o'clock interview.
Ooh, right on time. Come on into my office.
Thank you. And here's an extra copy of my resume in case you need it.
Great, thanks. So, Mr. Wilson, do you have any experience in the insurance field?
No, ma'am, I don't, but people tell me that I'm a quick learner and I always welcome a challenge.
Good, I like that.
Thanks again. So, if you were Ms. Madison, would you hire me? Or would you hire me? When you're applying for a job, a positive attitude and enthusiasm can make all the difference. Dress appropriately, be on time, smile and make good eye contact. Be positive and upbeat when you talk about your training or work experience. That way, you'll show an employer that you want to be at work and that you're willing to do what it takes to get the job done. Yeah, whatever, dude. To find out more, just log on to our website.
Oops, am I back to normal? Oh, we're stuck. What did I do? Okay, so oops. Just talking about the clip for a minute. So what did you notice in the clip? In terms of enthusiasm, like which one would you hire, of course? And you can either talk or put in the chat, because I know, of course, chat's always better for some people. The second, the one with the suit. Nobody wants the fun one, the first one? No? Oh, okay. The suit. See, the first one, he was enthusiastic, but in a bad way. Like, he was just all over the place. The second one was enthusiastic with a purpose. Like the first one, he was just like, I'm going to do whatever. I don't really care. The second one was like, hey, I'm going to be upbeat, but it's for the purpose of doing whatever I need to do in order to get this job and give you a good impression. Right? Cool. Oh, yep. He looked irresponsible. He's with a car accident. Yeah, that wasn't the best example he could have given. The first is nonchalant. Yep. Definitely nonchalant. Cool.
So Shamira, I actually have a question for the students before we move on. Have you ever found yourself as one of the two, examples that we've seen today? You either put in the chat or just unmute yourself. Have you ever found yourself being, playing around on the job, maybe being nonchalant, or kind of sort of the other example? No? Okay, good. And maybe this is your first job here, so that's okay too. But if you had another job, thank you. All right, Shamira, you can take it away.
Gonna share it.
While you're getting the screen up, Samir, I just wanted to say, one of the things that stands out for me when people go to job interviews sometimes is I've seen people come to a job interview with their friends and, like right then, not even like leaving them downstairs, like literally like bringing them up and to like not to the interview, but kind of into the space. And I know like, that's kind of a no-no too. It's great, like your friends there to support you and everything, but that's another thing that I just wanted to point out that might not be the best way to give a good impression.
Definitely. We were actually thinking about adding, there was this one, I don't know if you guys have seen Step Brothers when they interview. It's like really like unprofessional. And I was going to add that in there, but they had like a little bit too much cursing. So I was like, I can't add that in there. So, but yeah, definitely how you present yourself is very important, especially interviewing. So let's think back to your favorite job, or if you haven't had a job first and this is your first job, you can think back to your favorite class. What about it made it your favorite? And you can put it in the chat or unmute yourself, whichever one you're more comfortable with. So what about your previous job made it your favorite? Or if you haven't had a job yet, other than this one, what about your favorite class made it your favorite? Anyone? Be quiet today. We got to pull teeth today.
So we got some things in the chat. The people I work around and working together with those people to get things done. All right, we got some more. I was able to engage with the materials. Mine was tutoring, and I appreciate that. The student I helped was never afraid to ask for help. My favorite job was when I worked for Toys R Us. Always a good job. My favorite class was math because the teacher took the time and explained everything to me, and I was good at it. Mine was history. I liked it because it was fascinating.
Awesome. We got some great examples. So the reason we put this question in the PowerPoint is because something about either the job or the class had you enthusiastic about it. Something about it made you really enjoy it. So a lot of times when you think about enthusiasm, you don't think of, it's not going to be anything negative that makes you enthusiastic about a job or a class or anything like that. It's going to be something positive. So these are some reasons why people feel enthusiastic at work. And these also are some of the things that you guys added into the chat. So teamwork, I heard that in one of them. Innovation, so if the job gives you the ability to be innovative, think of something new. Of course, if they have incentives, just like Miss Melissa said, if you turn on your screen, there's an extra incentive. So just reminding you guys about that, that might make you guys more enthusiastic about turning on the screen and participating more. Having trust and accountability, also having commitment to the job, meeting expectations. When people celebrate your success, that helps to make you enthusiastic about the job too. And of course, positive work culture. That one I think is a huge one, because even if you might really like what you're doing, if you're in a space that's very toxic, you're not going to enjoy it anymore. And I'm going to click on to the next one. So how to build enthusiasm, and this one wants to be difficult, but it's okay. So this is a little short clip, and then we're going to talk a little bit after.
Hello, I'm Sarah Lloyd-Hughes from Ginger Training and Coaching, and today I'd like to give you a bite-sized coaching technique on personal development. If you'd like any more information about myself or my company, please visit go-ginger.com. We all have times when we find it difficult to be enthusiastic. Generally speaking, it goes something like this. One day, everything's perfect. You've just managed to get something done that was really important. People around you compliment you and you're on a high of enthusiasm. When we're in those moments, anything is possible. But then, if you're anything like me, you'll have experienced that what goes up must come down. So how do you keep your enthusiasm when it seems that nothing around you is worth being enthusiastic about? Well, I have a couple of very quick tips for you from the life coaching world. First of all, understand that what you focus on is how you see the world. If you see things as boring, as uninspiring, as all the same, then your brain will stereotype and find all the evidence it needs to support your case. And if you see things as interesting, different, ever-changing and exciting, your brain will find evidence for that too. That's why one person will see losing their job as a good thing, and another person will see losing that same job as a disaster. You choose your view on the world. Now, if you watch some of my other videos, you'll know that I like to give practical techniques for you to take away. So, here is a very quick way to practice building a positive view of the world, and therefore more enthusiasm. You're going to need a pen and a shiny white sheet of paper. This is what I call the thank you list. Write down all the things in your life that you have to feel grateful for. Think about the people in your life, the things, your own qualities, achievements, your environment, your opportunities. Keep writing until the page is bursting. Now, read down the list out loud, and after each item, say thank you. As you say thank you, hold in mind whoever needs thanking for it. What you're doing here is turning your mind towards the parts of your life that bring energy, rather than the bits that suck it away. Positive psychology says that thankfulness is important for well-being in general, and my experience is that people who are more enthusiastic like and appreciate things in life more. This is a great exercise to do in one of those happiness dips. Every time I've done it with a coaching client, they've left energized, positive, and more enthusiastic about their world. I hope it helps you. And if you'd like to do more exercises like that with me, head on over to the Ginger website at go-ginger.com. I look forward to seeing you there.
Cool. So she just talked about ways to build enthusiasm, and we're actually going to, oops, there you go. We're actually going to make a thank you list. So like she just talked about, we're going to list things that we're thankful about. So we're going to do this a fun way using Menti. So I put this little QR code here. You can actually hold up your cell phone and go to where your camera is on your phone, and then just like hover the camera, like shoot it right at the QR code, and it'll ask you if you want to go to the link, and you click on it. Like that's the quickest way to do it if you're using your laptop. Or you can go to menti.com and type in the code. And Miss Said, if you can, I don't know, are you able to put it in the chat? So they can copy and paste the code if they need to, but it's 1794 space SWR2021. And from there, I'm sure you guys have done this before. I think I've actually been in one session where you've done this with Miss Melissa, where you've made a cloud. So of course, all anonymous. And then you'll just put what you're thankful for. And it'll make a cute little cloud. Are you guys getting into it? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Awesome. It's so cool watching it move. Awesome. So we got some good ones. Family, my body, breath. Oh, that's an important one. Family, support system, happiness, roof over my head, health, my dogs. Oh, got love.
Yeah, if you hover over the code, I think it'll give you like a link that you can put in, copy and put in the chat too. This is copy link.
Oh,
Paste that in the chat. That's another way. For people
Miss
who
Melissa
don't,
knows all the tricks.
I didn't know about the QR code, so you taught me that.
I was like, oh, this might, well, it's easier if they're using the laptop, but, oh, you need the QR code again? Sure, hold on. Oops. Ah. Here's the QR code, and just open up your camera, hover over it, and it'll ask you if you want to go to the link. Awesome. So you guys have some really good things that you're thankful for. Peace. Oh, peace is a big one. Don't let nobody disturb your peace at all. Nature, support system. Awesome. Cool. Thank you guys for participating. So yeah, so the thank you list was just like she said in the video to get you thinking about things that you're grateful for. And from there, it helps you think of things that you're enthusiastic for. Because if you're grateful for it, you're definitely going to be more inclined to really want to get things done. So we're going to go on to the next one. We're going to talk a little bit about empathy and what empathy is. So, oops, over here clicking stuff. Okay, so I always like putting this little picture because empathy is kind of helps you sum it up in this picture. Empathy is definitely looking from not just your point of view, but looking from somebody else's point of view. So if you look at it, you see one person, when they're looking down at the number, they see a 6 and the other person sees a 9. Now, who's right or wrong, it depends on their perspective. But the important thing is for you to not only look at things from your view, but also look at things from someone else's point of view in order to understand their perspective. So what's empathy? It's the practice of putting oneself in another person's shoes, taking the time to learn what others think, feel, and believe, and taking the time to listen deeply. And that's a big thing. Listening is a huge part of being empathetic. Okay, I'm going to show you this little clip. We have a bunch of little clips throughout the video just to keep things rolling, especially on a Monday. I know you guys don't want us just sitting here talking to you the entire time. So sometimes these little clips thrown in can explain stuff way better than we can. So yeah, so we're going to watch this clip and then we're going to talk about it.
So what is empathy, and why is it very different than sympathy? Empathy fuels connection. Sympathy drives disconnection. Empathy, it's very interesting. Teresa Wiseman is a nursing scholar who studied professions, very diverse professions where empathy is relevant, and came up with 4 qualities of empathy. Perspective taking, the ability to take the perspective of another perspective as their truth. Staying out of judgment, not easy when you enjoy it as much as most of us do. Recognizing emotion in other people and then communicating that. Empathy.
Do you want to refresh?
My internet was like, I'm gonna shut off on you today. It's reconnecting now. Why do you have to be difficult? Okay, let's try that again. How do I go back?
Is feeling with people. And to me, I always think of empathy as this kind of sacred space when someone's kind of in a deep hole and they shout out from the bottom and they say, I'm stuck, it's dark, I'm overwhelmed. And then we look and we say, hey, you climb down. I know what it's like down here, and you're not alone. Sympathy is, ooh, it's bad, no, you want a sandwich? Empathy is a choice, and it's a vulnerable choice, because in order to connect with you, I have to connect with something in myself that knows that feeling. Rarely, if ever, does an empathic response begin with "at least." Yeah. And we do it all the time, because you know what? Someone just shared something with us that's incredibly painful, and we're trying to silver lining it. I don't think that's a verb, but I'm using it as one. We're trying to put the silver lining around it. So, I had a miscarriage. Oh, at least you know you can get pregnant. I think my marriage is falling apart. At least you have a marriage. John's getting kicked out of school. At least Sarah is an A student. But one of the things we do sometimes in the face of very difficult conversations is we try to make things better. If I share something with you that's very difficult, I'd rather you say, I don't even know what to say right now, I'm just so glad you told me. Because the truth is, rarely can a response make something better. What makes something better is connection.
Oh, gotta pause it. There we go. Cool. So in the clip, we talked about empathy, right? So she talked about the difference between, okay, thank you. The difference between empathy and sympathy. And Miss Said, if you want to talk about empathy versus sympathy.
Or, I mean, you know, if pretty much she explained it really well in the video, but we'll just kind of talk about it a little bit right here. Empathy is the ability to understand and share feelings of another. Just like in the video, she was saying the ability to see the point of view of someone else, okay? And that sometimes it's hard. I ain't gonna hold you, okay? Sometimes it's hard to be like, yeah, nah, you wrong, I'm right. But it's the ability to stand and be like, you know what, I can understand how you may think that, or why you may think that, or why you may see it that way. The ability to understand one's feelings and point of view in a nutshell, okay? Sympathy is similar and easy to confuse, like it says here, but basically it's not as useful, okay? So as stated in the video, it's like, okay, this person in a dark hole, and you like, oh man, like, all right, like, when you gonna get up out that hole? Or like, I'm sorry that you feel like, y'all lost me? Oh, okay. Or saying like, oh, I'm sorry that, you know, you feel like that. Well, come on up here, but it doesn't really offer the same caliber of feeling and understanding that empathy does. All right. Oh, yeah, Shamir, you can roll.
Okay. So when we talk about empathy, we want to hear, and this is the acronym for halt, engage, anticipate, and replay. So you're going to halt, so you're going to like stop what you're doing, because of course you don't want to like talk to someone and they're like doing 5 million other things other than paying attention to you. Like you feel like they're not hearing you, they're not listening to you. So what's the point of continuing on the conversation? So you want to remember that, like from that person's perspective. So if someone's talking to you, you want to halt, you want to stop what you're doing. You want to engage, so be fully engaged with them, not be sitting there like playing on your phone or twiddling your thumbs, doing something else. You want to actually engage in conversation with them. You want to anticipate, so that's another way of showing that you're engaged with them. So anticipate like what's happening, and also replay. So just so you understand exactly like what they're saying, you can summarize it in what you think you what you think you heard, and then they can tell you if it's right or wrong. Like if someone's saying they're sad because of whatever happened, you're going to replay that. So you're going to be like, oh, you're sad because of this. And that gives them the ability to say, yes, I'm sad because of that. Like, oh yeah, you really understood me, why I'm upset. Or it gives them a chance to elaborate more so that you're able to understand them better. Another short clip thrown in here talking about empathy. If you guys have seen the movie Inside Out, which I feel like a lot of people have, this is just a short clip, and I think this gives like a great example of what it is to be an empathetic listener. Because a lot of the time people might listen, but they don't listen. They listen to hear, they don't listen to understand. So being an empathetic listener, you're listening to understand that person's point of view.
No, you can't take my rocket to the top! Riley and I go to the moon! Riley can't be done with me.
Hey, it's gonna be okay. We can fix this. We just need to get back to headquarters. Which way to the train station?
I had a whole trip planned for us.
Hey, who's ticklish, huh? Here comes the tickle monster. Hey, Bing Bong, look at this. Oh, here's a fun game. You point to the train station and we all go there. Won't that be fun? Come on, let's go to the train station.
I'm sorry they took your rocket. They took something that you loved. It's gone. Forever.
Sadness. Don't make him feel worse.
Sorry.
It's all I had left of Riley.
I bet you and Riley had great adventures.
Oh, they were wonderful. Once we flew back in time. We had breakfast twice that day.
Sadness.
It sounds amazing. I bet Riley liked it.
Oh, she did. We were best friends.
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm okay now. Come on. The train station is this way.
Cool. So just looking at this clip, who do you think did a better job of communicating with Bing Bong? Right, it's Bing Bong, yep. Did Sadness do a better job or did Joy do a better job? And you can put in the chat or you can unmute yourself.
So we have sadness, a lot of sadness here. Yeah, all sadness.
Gotcha. Of course, Sadness did a better job. So I should have put this in there too. Why did Sadness do a better job than Joy did? What did Sadness do differently that got through to Bing Bong that Joy didn't do?
So someone said, I don't understand how Joy is crying.
How Joy is crying? Did Joy cry? Oh no, Bing Bong cried. Because when Bing Bong cried, the candy came out. Joy was more so just like, let me hurry up and just breeze over what's wrong with you because we got a mission to do.
Sadness validated his feelings.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Joy tried to distract him rather than comfort him. What else? Yeah, that's it so far.
Cool. Yeah, you
she
guys.
Empathized.
Mm-hmm.
You go ahead. You got it.
I know you can. So yeah, you guys hit the nail right on the head. Joy was just like I said before, she was just like, let me hurry up and get to where we need to go. And let's not really sit here and go into your feelings. And Sadness was like, you know what? Let me sit down and take a second and like see where your emotions are coming from and really try to understand why you have these emotions. So Sadness really took the time to sit down. I know me personally, I'd rather have Sadness come and talk to me because Joy's just gonna be like, whatever, we'll keep going. So Sadness is like the epitome of being a good empathetic listener. She sat down and paid attention to him. Oop. Next slide, please. There we go. Okay. And let's see, what do empathetic conversations look like? So we went over this briefly when we talked about here. So with empathetic conversations, the speaker tells their story while the listener actively listens. That's the important part, sitting there actively listening, like Sadness did. The listener retells the story as if it happened to them. So when Sadness sat down and was like, oh, that would make you feel sad because of this, she's retelling the stories to show Bing Bong that she was actively listening and really understood it. The speaker affirms or makes gentle corrections. Bing Bong actually sat there and was like, yeah, exactly. Like, that's how I felt. And then the fourth step is the listener accepts the correction. So if Sadness sat there and her whole recollection of why Bing Bong felt that way was completely wrong, then Bing Bong would say, well, no, I actually felt like this. And then Sadness would accept the corrections so that she could better understand how Bing Bong was feeling and not just understanding it from her point of view. Okay. So I know you guys are sitting there like, okay, well, you guys are talking about empathy, but what does this really have to do with empathy in the workplace? Having empathy for others in your workplace definitely affects how productive your job can be. And how well you can do a job. If you're empathetic, you're going to do the job a whole lot better because you're understanding different people's point of views. So for this bottom part where it's talking about negotiation, like if you're in marketing and you're trying to get someone to buy something, let's say you're trying to get them to buy a water bottle. Well, why do they need a water bottle? Like, what is the reasoning? What do they personally need the water bottle for? Like, you have to understand that the customer's point of view of why they need the certain product that you're trying to sell them. So negotiation is a big one. Collaboration. So if you're working with somebody and you guys are like bumping heads and you guys just keep trying to go, get whatever project you need to get done, but you're not actually getting to the root of a problem of why you're bumping heads, then the project's going to take forever, or it's like never going to get done, or it's going to get done, but like not to the best of its ability. So if you guys are able to collaborate together and understand each other's point of view, then it's going to be a whole lot more productive. Creativity, of course, definitely empathy helps with that. Feeling safe. So how safe someone else feels around you, and especially, and Ms. Saeed can say, or well, really all of us, not just anyone who works in elect, but any one of us who are working with you in Work Ready, we love hearing when you guys are like, this feels like another family. Because I know last week we talked about, connections and where you feel safe. And it was great to hear like a bunch of you say like work ready feels like a family. Like we want you to feel that way. Also, it helps you build emotional connections with people. Again, that goes back to also helping people feel safe and identifying needs. So if you're empathetic, you're going to be more understanding to what needs another person has. And this was another clip, but it's actually a little bit longer and we only have 5 more minutes left. So we're actually going to skip this one for the sake of time. But if you ever get it, you said what?
If you want to share the link with me, I'll share it with them so they can watch it on their own.
Oh, sure, definitely. I'll send the link to Miss Melissa and she'll send it out to you guys. It actually was a really good TED Talk. And if you know me personally, you know I can't sit there and like watch stuff for forever. But this TED Talk was like 12 minutes long, but she's talking about empathy and how empathy is important in the workplace and how empathy works, how her workplace in the beginning like wasn't empathetic to her and how that negatively affect her in her first job, but how having empathy with other coworkers is also beneficial for your work environment and for you as a person. So this was a really good clip, but we're going to skip that for now. Do you guys have any questions or any comments about empathy or enthusiasm, since we covered both topics today? Cool. Yay.
I did want to share, I came across an article. I was connecting empathy with what we talked about. Our topic this week is achievement and understanding how empathy and achievement are connected. And a lot of studies have shown that people who are empathetic are more successful than people who are not. And that might seem like, well, in some cases, but they give some examples for why that happens. It says that people who are empathetic are more concerned about the success of others. Success cannot be attained without the support and help of others. Empaths, as people empathetic are known, do not only focus on their own personal success, they also focus on the success of others. They want other people to be involved and get rewards. And when they do this, there's a rebounding effect that also triggers their success. It also, as Samira said, helps with connections. It makes people focus on solutions rather than problems. Definitely improves your communication. It makes a person who's empathetic is not going to be selfish. And they want to reach out to other people. And that's definitely something that's needed in terms of collaborations, as Shamira said. They are unconventional, they are open, they can be great leaders, and they have that internal locus of control we talked about, where they can accept responsibility. At the end of the day, empaths are not people pleasers. They just want to have a better environment. Since they are sensitive to the feelings of others, they are careful of how they treat them. If they have to apologize or say they're sorry, they do it and they move on. Empaths can be responsible, they can be apologetic, and are self-aware. Holding a grudge could be hurting to them, and this they know. Thus, they can enjoy a personal well-being and delight others to be more productive. So that was just a way to connect empathy to success, because sometimes you'll have people who are successful that are kind of cutthroat. And some people think that it's necessary to be cutthroat to be successful, but studies are shown that that is not the case. And a lot of times that trait of being cutthroat has a tendency to come back and bite people. So empathy is important to success.
Definitely, that was great.
It's a good, I would suggest that it's a good practice to have a good balance of a little bit of both. Just because you're empathetic doesn't mean that, you know, you have to, how can I say this, that you have to take any like crap or anything like that. But it does necessarily mean that you can understand other people's point of view, because if you're always cutthroat, it just, it just leaves a bad taste in other people's mouths, especially within the workplace. And listen, y'all, y'all probably don't even know me, but I'm real like rough around the edges and real kind of like, it took me a while to get to a place of being like an empathetic person. So take it from me when I'm telling you that, you know, a good balance of both is good for you.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Saida. Thanks for that.